You may say that I'm a dreamer, but in the end...
Hi and hello, and welcome to Radio Icebox Season 2, Episode the 3rd, entitled The Naked S'more Conspiracy. Thank you so much for tuning us in. Before we get started with the show, we do want to let you know about our patrons and members of the week. Our Patreon member of the week is Rob Davenport. Thank you so much, Rob, for your support. Our members that we want to recognize, Lori Call, thank you, Lori. Linda Senin, thank you, Linda. And Michael Corbett. And our super members, those, of course, are folks who are both Patreon patrons and voting members of the Icebox Radio Theater. We want to mention Scott Hickey today. Thank you so much, Scott. And Terry Jensen. Thank you, Terry, for all your support of Radio Icebox. If you want more information, just go to radioicebox.org and click on the support link there on the front page. And now, on with The Naked S'more Conspiracy on Radio Icebox.
Good morning. It's 6 o'clock at Radio Icebox, and we're ready to start our broadcast day. Almost. Well, sort of. It's like this. JJ is still asleep.
What? No, I'm not.
And Abby hasn't even come in yet today, so that leaves me, your host, for this morning's wonderfully disorganized mess we like to call The Morning Show.
Hey, you're ruining the illusion of competence.
We're gonna have a look at the weather in just a bit, as well as news headlines, community events, and more. But first, let me say, good morning, Icebox. Here is your first commercial.
Better.
Hi, this is Woody, again. Well, I'm here spending good money, so yous all know the bait shop what's been there for 20 years is still in the same place. And we still got all the stuff we used to, because no one come in and bought anything yet, except for ammo. Oh, and Jerry Nyborg, he picked up a new deer rifle for opening weekend. So I guess all that new inventory the white maybe kid is going to waste, right? I mean, you seen this stuff? Pink rifles. Pink. She says the girls will like them better, but my own daughter thinks it's gross and sexist, so figure that one out. Doesn't matter because no one ever listens to me anyway. So we got a lot of it, whatever it is. Come on down to Woody's, please. Christmas is coming up.
Woody's Bait Shop and Guide Service on Beach Avenue in Icebox. Open alternating Tuesdays, 1 to 5.
Same place as it's always been. If you can't find it by now, you probably ain't coming.
Woody's! 6:04 now at Radio Icebox, and we're starting out today with a few community announcements. Laura Davies, Tim and Judy's daughter, is going to hold a memorial service for American democracy down on Alien Beach tonight. There will be a bonfire in which both presidential candidates in the recent election will be burned in effigy, followed by a skyclad Wicca ceremony, followed by s'mores.
Wait, did you say skyclad?
It's JJ, folks, our station manager.
Oh, they know who I am. Good morning, folks. Cody, give me a minute.
Okay.
Just go ahead with the next announcement. I gotta see what...
They know what skyclad means.
What?
If you're thinking you need to explain what skyclad means, they know what it means.
Well, I'm sure some of our listeners would appreciate some clarification.
No, they pretty much all do. There's been a Wicca group meeting in the library for 2 years.
But still, if anyone would care for more information about
Naked. It means everyone's naked.
Cody.
Well, that's what it means.
We are not going to tell people to go down to the beach in practically December to have a naked s'more party to protest the election.
No, I think we just did. The fun starts at 7, folks.
Radio Icebox would like at this time to offer an editorial opinion that we in no way support or stand against skyclad events on Alien Beach.
You're doing an editorial to say we don't have an opinion.
Yes, and also shut up. We support the Constitution, which gives us the right to free assembly.
Can't be much freer than naked on the beach.
What's our next announcement, Cody?
You don't have any more editorials to issue?
No, just go ahead with the next announcement.
Okay. Wilbur Peterson is organizing a party to observe the skyclad bonfire from the bushes above Alien Beach.
Okay, you're making that up.
Nope. Wilbur assures everyone that observing the ceremony is vital for public safety, and you should bring your own binoculars and raincoat.
No, okay, don't do that. Wilbur, if you're listening, this is wrong and probably illegal. Don't go spying on the naked s'more party.
But if you do, they're meeting at 7 o'clock in the picnic shelter.
Is there any more announcements of community interest, Cody?
Are there any more?
Just tell me.
No. Though Mrs. Abercrombie did want to request the help of 2 young men, preferably dark in complexion, to rearrange her rock garden.
No, we don't read those anymore, not after last time.
Okay, so, Mrs. Abercrombie, if you're listening, we're sorry.
She shouldn't have gotten so pinchy.
That's right. First look at the weather now. Snow showers possible throughout the day today, leading to widespread complaining tonight. We forecast continued trouble at Icebox Hardware as Larry attempts to display snowblowers in front of the store, leading to tears and anguish from all who pass by. 40% chance of people expressing surprise and shock at the advent of winter, followed by the 7 stages of grief for pretty much the entire listening area.
28 degrees currently in Icebox, 29 in International Falls. North of the border, Fort Francis reporting -3 Celsius. In the Old Town, they are expecting 114 degrees tonight, and Hell reports just 14 degrees after Roger Anderson finally painted the garage like he's been telling his wife he'll do for 2 years.
14 really isn't that cold, though.
Well, it is for them.
That's right. 6:10 at Radio Icebox. Good morning. We've got news headlines coming up and more right after this.
Hi, I'm Carl. And next time you want to take your party, bar mitzvah, or wedding up a notch, you could do a lot worse than Carl's royalty-free DJ service. I got all the gear, all the sounds, and all the youthful energy to keep your party going all night long, and without having to pay 1 cent in artist royalties. That's real important. My Uncle Dave went to law school for a year, and he told me so. So all of our songs are 100% free of copyright and 100% fun. So if you want to make sure your grandma's birthday party really kicks it, hire Carl's royalty-free DJ service.
Carl's royalty-free. See his flyers with the little phone numbers you can tear off at Lake Grocery.
Let the legally sanctioned fun begin!
The big black horse.
Good morning, time for news headlines from the Radio Icebox newsroom. This is Sonny Samuel reporting. A protest is being organized to stop the sky-clad s'more party and political rally slated for Alien Beach this evening, being organized by Gloria Peterson of Canal Avenue. Mrs. Peterson is concerned about the state of public morals in our community and claims the combination of nubile naked bodies and roasted marshmallows with chocolate represents a risk to right-thinking people all over the county. When asked if she wasn't just organizing her protest because her husband Wilbur is set to watch the event, Mrs. Peterson said, "Don't worry, I'll deal with him soon enough." Naked S'more organizer Laura Davies was sleeping in and unavailable for comment. Highway crews working east of town on Minnesota Highway 8 have found what appears to be thousands of 80s vintage video cartridge games buried in the mud on the road in front of Pete Delaney's home. The games ran the gambit from famous titles like Tetris and Ms. Pac-Man to more obscure offerings like Hunter Bob's Gun Cleaning Challenge and Mystic Pizza, the video game. All the cartridges were in decent shape considering they look to have been in the ground for 30 years, and some effort is being made by Dee Dee down at the library to locate a working cartridge game system to see if the recently exhumed offerings will still play. Pete Delaney would not speak to reporters other than to shout, "Go away, they'll see you," through a closed door before shutting his curtains and pretending not to be at home.
News on Radio Icebox brought to you by the International House of Pancakes. No, not that one. The real one. The one that straddles the U.S.-Canadian border and is actually made of real pancakes. A must-stop for any visitor in the Icebox area. Our IHOP is not to be missed. And don't worry, founder and pancake architect Carl Howell Delaney is on his medication again and promises not to repeat the Girl Scout incident of 2014. That's the International House of Pancakes, located where County Road 232 meets Ontario Route 4 in Icebox. We have some bonus news coverage now. On the line with Wilbur Peterson, who is organizing the Wicker S'more Observation Party this evening. Wilbur, can you hear me?
We bet your sweet Biddy. Is this Cody?
Yes, sir.
Well, get me that other idiot, and I want to talk to him.
Sir, I'm not sure who you mean.
That other idiot, the one with the news story about me, the JJ.
JJ is currently hiding under the table, sir.
No, I'm not.
And can't come to the phone. Tell me, what led you to organize the observation party tonight?
What led me to? Can we have this stuff going on? Naked kids dancing on the beach?
Did you not dance on the beach in your day, sir?
Sure we did, but not to protest the election. What's this about burning Trump and Hillary both? This is America, damn it. Pick a side.
So do you consider observing the event from the bushes to be a kind of protest?
We're acting for the security of the community. There's got to be someone there to make sure the fire doesn't get out of control or the kids don't start parading down Lake Street and they're all together.
Oh, you old liar.
Gloria, go back into the kitchen.
Give me that darn phone.
No.
Oh, get up. He just wants to go looking, the old perv.
I believe we're on the air now with Mrs. Peterson.
Darn right. This on the radio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I got an announcement.
Okay.
I'm gonna be down at the beach tonight with my camera. And if you other perverts want to come join my husband, you might just find your picture on the bulletin board at Lake Grocery.
Don't do that. Bill was going to bring his telescope.
Or maybe I should just go down to the beach and join the girls, huh? What do you think about that?
May I have the phone, please? The surveillance event tonight is canceled.
Okay, so it sounds like there are changes in the activities on the beach tonight. Yes to naked s'mores, no to pervy observation party. Stay tuned to Radio Icebox. We'll bring you more news on this story as it develops. Radio Icebox Playhouse is next, right after this.
Coming this fall on Radio Icebox.
It's tragedy, Cecil. If Grandmama finds out I've accidentally killed the Italian ambassador, it will create a scandal from which the family shall never recover.
The story of a young girl with a huge heart and a serious delusion.
The manor house must be saved.
It's Downtown Abbey. The story of a woman named Abby who lives in an apartment downtown, but thinks she lives in England during the Edwardian era.
Oh, pish-posh, Grandmama. I shall go into the village and do the marketing myself. This is 1913, after all.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm a liberated woman.
Well, liberate yourself down to Super One and get my Diet Coke.
Yes, it's Downtown Abbey, the story of a poor Minnesota girl who decided she'd rather be a rich English woman.
I can't stand the thought of marrying and leaving Piercegood Manor. It's the only home I've ever known. And you, Rothschild, our loyal butler, you are my only true friend.
Okay, but do you want fries with that?
Downtown Abbey, the story of a woman obsessed with saving a huge estate, when in fact she lives in 2 rooms above an insurance office.
Father, we must modernize, or the estate will be lost.
For Ned's sake, Abby, what estate? We've been living on 7th Street since you were born.
But, Father, what of you and Mother? What of the generations to come?
Well, I put in 2 more years at the sewer department. Then Mom and I'll be fine. As for future generations, ain't gonna be none if you keep weirding out all the boys.
Oh, Papa, I'm not ready to marry any man.
Yeah, and they're not ready for you.
Downtown Abbey, coming this fall on Radio Icebox.
I say, cricket, anyone?
Nah, it's just a really big mosquito.
Ew!
A little bit past the hour now at Radio Icebox. Hey, I'd like to read a letter for you guys, if I may. It says, Dear Mr. JJ, I'm writing on behalf of my coffee group that meets at the Busy Bee every Tuesday. We've recently discovered your internet thingy. Thingy means wireless internet here at the studio. And we're really enjoying using all the tablets, cell phones, and other whatnot we've gotten as gifts over the years and have just been gathering dust until now. One thing, though, the internet signal thingy is pretty weak, so could you add some thingamabobs or doohickeys to make it stronger? I don't know anything about it, of course, but I'm sure you can figure it out. You're a smart man. We're all counting on you. Sincerely, the Ambition Club. Oh, there's a P.S. We especially like that YouTube and everyone here thinks Lele Pons is the new Marlene Dietrich. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for writing that in, and I'm sure that's good news for Lele Pons, whoever that is, although I kind of doubt that there'll ever be a replacement for Marlene Dietrich. Well, I've talked to Cody, and he says, yes, there are some things we can do to maybe make our internet thingamabob a little stronger so that it reaches more of the town. But here's the thing, there's really no money in the budget for that this year, so we're reaching out to those of you, especially those of you who have enjoyed our new wireless internet here at the radio station, to help us out. And you can do that by using that wireless internet. Just, leave the YouTube for a while and go over to audibletrial.com/IBRT. It's a great service, this Audible. It does audiobooks, books on tape if you rather. They got some old radio dramas on there as well. They got a lot of great stuff.
And if you sign up for a free 1-month trial at audibletrial.com/IBRT, we actually get a little bit of money here at the station to, add thingamabobs there on the internet router, so maybe the Busy Bee gets some better quality signal. So again, that's audibletrial.com/IBRT. All you got to do is sign up for a month. It's free. You get a free audiobook out of the deal, and you might want to stick around on that service anyway, because they have a lot of great books, including bestsellers by Stephen King, and I imagine classic literature as well. A lot of great stuff. It's really, really worthwhile, and it's for a worthwhile cause. So once again, that's audibletrial.com/IBRT. Okay, top of the evening to y'all. There's a chill in the air tonight, and it's shaping up to be a perfect evening to cuddle around the receiver set for Radio Icebox Playhouse. If you've tuned in, please remember to turn on your porch lights, because we'd like to know how many of you are listening, and we have something good to listen to on this cold night. Stay tuned now for a premiere work from St. Paul writer Craig Vinseth. It's The Moose on Radio Icebox Playhouse.
I've always loved skiing. The cold, the stillness, the sound of my skis on the snow. Up here in the north, with the long, well-groomed trails, it's almost perfect. I really enjoy my all-too-brief trips up here. It gives me a chance to get away from my high-pressure job and just relax. This year, I was able to rent a small cabin all on its own. I took a mini vacation, and I have been skiing around for 3 days. Tomorrow I have to go back to, unfortunately, the real world. Today, I'm going on a long final run around Moose Lake. With any luck, I'll see a moose. Over the past few days, I've seen several deer and 2 separate wolves. I've always wanted to see a moose, but haven't had any luck in all of my trips. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get lucky today. Up one more hill, and I stop, looking over the lake. It's frozen over, of course, and covered with a smooth layer of snow, but it's still breathtaking. It's maybe half a mile across, surrounded by pine and birch trees, just like all the other lakes around here. I assume the lake got its name from there being moose here, at least at one point. Well, down the hill and around the lake, this lake does have good ground for moose. It doesn't have much of a shore, just swampy lowlands, judging from the bits of weeds poking through the snow. At least swamp in the summer, of course. Now, everything is frozen. Wait, what's that? Could it be? Yes, a moose. It's just standing there, chewing some leaves and looking at me. Yikes, it's looking right at me. Or at least it gives that impression. But with its eyes on the side of its head, it probably can't actually see me. Probably heard me ski up, though. And given how my heart is pounding, it probably can still hear me now. I'm just going to stand here quietly for a few minutes and see what it does. It's a beautiful creature, of course, just standing there in a pool of water, chewing on some leaves. It's huge, of course, even from this distance, and brown, a very deep brown, almost black. And its antlers, they're huge. It's hard to tell from this distance, but they must be 8 feet across, even with a bend in one. It put its head down again to pull up another mouthful of fresh leaves. This moose isn't having any problem finding something to eat, even in the deepest part of winter. It's almost like it's still summer to this moose. I hear a crack off to my left and look in that direction. Nothing. Probably just a branch breaking under the snow. I look back to the moose. That isn't there. What? Gone? That fast? How could even such a large animal move that fast without making a sound? And where it was, just a depression in the snow. No tracks, no water, no plants. What did I just see? A mirage? In the winter? Never heard of such a thing. Don't they only happen in the desert? I ski over to the spot where I saw the moose going carefully due to the plants, and when I get there, I see 4 holes in the snow where its legs were, but no other sign of the animal. Do I want to see a moose so much that I made one up? If so, where did these holes come from? Shaking my head, I continue my trip around the lake, then head back to the cabin for the last time. Coming down the last stretch of trail, the cabin comes into view. There it is again. The moose, standing right by the cabin, chewing away. I feel it looking at me, which is strange because, again, the way its head is built, it probably can't see me. I look at it. It looks at me. I breathe quietly. It chews. I think I hear something and turn my head for a moment. I look back. No moose. Again. I slowly ski the rest of the way back to the cabin. I stop at the porch and take off my skis. I walk to where the moose was. 4 hoof prints in the snow. Some fresh leaves on the ground. I pick one up. It's already freezing in the cold air. I've been driving a couple of hours, and I'm almost to Cloquet. I need a break. I've always enjoyed watching people. I'm at a rest stop. Cars pull up, people get out, stretch for a while, then get back in and go on. Each carload is different. Granted, it's the middle of the week, so many contain just a single person, most likely traveling on business. But there are cars with couples and cars with 2 people just traveling together. With a little practice, it's easy to spot the difference. There are even a few families going from here to there. No truckers, though. This rest stop is just for cars. There's a full truck stop a few miles down the road. Just getting back into my car when I spotted a moose, just standing in the field in the snow, chewing. This is getting weird. I've never seen one before outside of a zoo, and now 3 times on one trip. There's no way it could be the same one. I've been driving highway speeds for 2 hours, and moose just don't move that fast. But, come to think of it, it could have started off when I left last night. If it moved fast, it could make it here overnight. Maybe. But that's silly. Why would a moose come this far, this fast? And what are the chances? I mean, I'm following a road, but why would it? I would think that it would stick with the lakes and the woods, not come out into farmers' fields. But those antlers, the left one has that weird bend. No. And that's final. Black River, Wisconsin. I've been driving 6 hours and I still have some more to go before I get to Chicago. Why, of all places, did I stop here? Was it something in my subconscious that wanted to torture me? Was it something I did? Someone that I offended? Am I a mass murderer without knowing it? What? Of all the places to stop, this is the only one with a moose. Granted, it's made of metal and painted orange, but this is the only one with a moose. I would say that it's normally made of metal and painted orange. This time when I looked at it, it was a regular moose chewing away. In fact, it was the same moose that I've been seeing all along. It had the same bend in its antlers. Now I could imagine it making it down to Cloquet. After all, it had all night. It would be a big stretch, in fact, a really huge stretch to imagine not only that it could make it there in time for me to see it, but that it would be there for me to see. I mean, it had the whole northern part of the state to wander in. Why come there? But I've been driving at speed the whole way, except for a brief stop. There's no way that it could make it here. But it did. That's not what's bothering me, though. Okay, that bothers me, but that's not the big thing. When I was filling up my car, another car pulled in. A family got out. A kid said, "Hey, look, a moose." And the mom said, "No, that's just a statue." And the kid said, "No, it's not. It's moving." The mom said, "No, it's made of metal, and it's orange. No moose is orange." The kid said, "No, it's brown, and chewing, and has a bent antler." The two went off, arguing. I just stared at the orange moose statue that was made of metal, that was brown, and chewing, and had a bent antler. Now, I've always liked moose. Or rather, I've always liked the idea of a moose. You know, large furry animal that's kind of cute in its own way. Besides, it's associated with North Woods, and I've always liked those. And yes, I always look forward to seeing one in the wild. I've seen them in zoos, of course, but never until now in the wild. I still like the idea of seeing them in the wild. But aren't they supposed to stay there? In the wild? Not following me home across hundreds of miles? I mean, why me? Why is it following me? Is it something I did? If so, what? Or perhaps something I didn't do? Again, if so, what? Just stands there, staring at me, and chewing. I'm not seeing anything in its face, not reproach, not anger, not even happiness. It's just there, being a moose. I haven't seen it since Wisconsin. No sign of it this morning when I went to the station, and took the train into town. No sign of it in the streets downtown. Well, that's not really surprising. The streets are full of cars, and the sidewalks full of people. I don't think there's room to squeeze a whole moose in anywhere, much less a place for it to get something to eat. Finally, at the office, I walk across the lobby and glance over at the waterfall. And there it is, just standing in the water, chewing with a bent antler. I stop, staring. People step into me, almost knocking me over. They give me dirty looks. I don't care. I just stare at the moose, almost getting lost in its gaze. Slowly walk over to it, carefully avoiding the streams of people passing by. I stop at the edge of the pool. It's still 5 or 6 feet away, too far to touch. After who knows how long, someone bumps into me, freeing me from its gaze. I'm swept away by the people and into an elevator. My head slowly clears as the elevator climbs. Shaking it, I step out, and I walk into my office. Going in, I see it. The moose. I black out. I open my eyes. My vision is both clear and distorted. I can see almost all the way around me. It's cold, but I don't feel cold. I'm comfortable. I look around the lake. Everything is covered in white snow. The forest is gorgeous. I'm back at the lake. I move my head down and take a mouthful of leaves. Rising up again, I chew them. Looking across the lake, I see a skier who has stopped and is looking at me. Radio Icebox will be back with the rest of the story right after this. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater. It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.
Barb?
Yes.
Any movement?
Oh, no. It's still all quiet over there.
Oh. Well, then why exactly are we whispering?
Shh.
Sorry.
We are in covert surveillance.
Right.
It's very important that we figure out what's going on. There's too much we don't know about Mr. Rogers.
What is it exactly we're trying to learn, Barb?
Shh.
I'm still whispering.
Yes, but you could be whispering more.
Why are we here?
To find out about the man. His likes, dislikes, favorite color, favorite drink, his ideal romantic evening, things like that.
Wait a minute, are we stalking?
No.
Are we stalkers now, Barb? You could have been more forthcoming about stalking.
We are not stalking. It's just, there's a new man in our community, and we should find out all we can about him.
Why?
Neighborhood watch?
Barb.
All right, we're stalking him.
Thank you. A little honesty never hurt anyone.
You're not bothered by this?
Only slightly bothered that you didn't see fit to tell me.
I'm sorry.
I'm up for a little man spying as much as the next girl. Now, what are we looking for?
Habits. Comings and goings. Does he take the trash out? That sort of thing.
Ah, so you're looking for a pre-domesticated model.
I just like knowing where I stand. Also, what sort of negatives are there? Like a criminal past or fantasy football.
Very wise. I wish I'd done some more research last time.
You and JJ are really through, huh?
Kind of looks that way.
We're on a break.
Ah!
What are you two doing out here?
Shh! Keep your voice down.
Okay, fine. What are you two doing out here?
We could ask you the same thing.
A walk?
A likely story.
What? The beach is right over there, and I could hear you two whispering from across the street.
No, I mean it was a likely story that you were going for a walk.
I am trying to get some exercise, you know, after someone I know suggested it. Repeatedly, in a shrill, nagging voice.
Shrill?
Would both of you keep your voices down?
Why are you spying on Dr. Graves?
We are not spying on Dr. Graves.
That's right. He's not home.
He isn't?
Ran into him in the hardware store earlier. He and that new guy he's got staying with him, they were looking for garden tools. Selection wasn't very good, so they said they were going to drive to Bemidji.
Wait, when was this?
Half hour ago.
He's not home.
I'm sorry, Barb. Maybe some other time.
What are you two doing out here anyway?
Never you mind.
Oh, it's all right. I feel a fool anyway.
Barb, are you embarrassed?
Completely. I'm acting like a smitten schoolgirl when I deserve any jibes you may have for me.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm just kind of confused. You and Dr. Graves?
What? Oh, no, of course not. I've known the good doctor for years, and my feelings for him are as a brother.
So, what then?
Oh, you really are thick, aren't you? You just brought him up not 2 minutes ago?
Brought who up?
Mr. Rogers?
You mean the guy who lives in that shed over there? What about him? Wait.
I knew he'd catch up.
Why are you spying on Mr. Rogers?
We aren't. Barb is. Get it?
No. Wait. Oh.
Right.
I'm sorry, Barb. If I said anything out of line, it was just because,
He's thick.
Yes, I'm thick.
Oh, it's all right, JJ. I'm a silly old thing behaving like a girl a third my age.
So you're spying on this guy because you, I'm sorry, like him?
As if it couldn't get any more ridiculous.
No, it's okay. It's just,
What?
Well, I happen to know that a new lock for the shed was on their Bemidji shopping list.
What are you suggesting?
Nothing, really. Just, I'm a little curious about the guy myself, and the shed he's living in is currently unlocked. And no one's home.
Oh, no. A little girlish stalking is one thing, but that's unlawful entry.
Which will add a delicious bit of spice to this outing.
Barb!
In for a penny. Let's go.
Are you sure they both went to Bemidji?
Positive we're fine. Just, let me find that light.
Oh, do you think we should?
Oh, unless you have a flashlight. Oh, here it is. Well?
What is it?
Too early to tell. I mean, there are nudie pictures on the wall, and this cot is very nicely made.
Wonder if he was in the army.
But the whole thing's a little sterile, isn't it?
JJ? What did Dr. Graves and Rogers say at the hardware store? What do you remember?
Okay. They said they needed some new garden tools because Mr. Rogers was going to be taking care of the cemetery.
Well, staying on for a while. Good.
And they needed some stuff to winterize the shed.
Oh, so it sounds like he's going to be staying out here permanently.
Well, for at least a winter anyway.
I don't get it. Dr. Graves is alone in that house, and it's got to have 10 bedrooms. Why not just stay in there?
I don't know. At the store, he didn't say much. He's a little,
Strong and silent? Stoic? Mysterious?
creepy.
Oh. Well, at my age, James, one must make allowances. And creepy is definitely within my bailiwick.
Well, let's just take a quick look around and get out of here.
Agreed. Aforementioned cot, neatly made. Chest of drawers, mostly empty, but one drawer containing T-shirts and underwear.
Ooh, what's the recon there?
Boxers, cotton.
Excellent.
Indeed.
What?
70s vintage refrigerator, apparently running smoothly. Well, Abby, look at this.
What is it? Oh, that is promising.
What? Well, what's in the fridge?
Neat rows. Everything at right angles to the rack.
Seems kind of anal.
I can sand down those sharp edges, don't worry.
What are you two talking about?
Are you sure you want to know?
Look in the fridge.
It's a fridge, so what?
Look closer, James. No takeout containers, 12 eggs, several missing. The milk is well within its expiration date. 1 bottle of very nice mustard. No ketchup.
I did notice that. Nice.
Seriously, what are you two talking about?
In short, James, this is the larder of a gentleman.
It's a what?
Everything is neat and ordered, and ooh, I'm getting chills.
Well, it's probably because the fridge is open.
You're just jealous because your fridge has ketchup, spoiled milk, and week-old Chinese food.
It does not. That's pizza.
Well, whatever the case, I believe I've learned what I need to know here.
Wait! Don't forget the coup de grace.
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
Now what?
We have to check the vegetable crisper. It's one thing to have unexpired milk, but if this guy's got carrots in there...
He's a keeper.
Exactly.
And...
Oh my God!
That's
No, it can't be.
It is, Barb. It's a human head.
Radio Icebox, Season 2, Episode 3, The Naked S'more Conspiracy, featured Jeffrey Adams as JJ, Ayla McIntosh as Abby, Cody Boyer was Cody, and Victoria Olsen was featured as Barb. The radio play this week was entitled The Moose, written and directed by Craig Finseth. Vocal talent and sound design by Jeffrey Adams. The aircheck segment that led off our show, as well as the rest of the story, was written and directed by Jeffrey Adams. Our special guest callers this week were Karim Kronfli and Sarah Golding. You can hear Karim in a variety of audio fiction projects, including The Byron Chronicles, Audio Oblivious, and the Galaxy Quest Restoration Project. You can enjoy Sarah's work in Audio Oblivious, Subject Found, and The Fall. Some sound effects from the Freesound Project at freesound.org. The Radio Icebox Playhouse theme song is Monkeys Spinning Monkeys by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Radio Icebox Season 2 is made possible in part by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, thanks to appropriations from the Minnesota State Legislature's General and Arts and Cultural Heritage Funds. Hi, everybody. This is Jeff from the Icebox Radio Theater. Coming on here with, I guess, what I think of as the tailhook section of the podcast. One last little appeal for you to consider supporting new audio fiction. You know, it's a great time to be doing this work. It's a great time to be creating art because for the first time, people doing things like radio shows and television shows and movies are no longer beholden to like a studio somewhere that's telling them how to create the work that they create. We are independent. We are also very poor because that old system, the system of record companies and television networks and radio networks, that was actually pretty effective at paying the bills. Unfortunately, it wasn't very generous as to who got to be a producer. These days, of course, everyone gets to be a producer. And we have to appeal directly to you guys, the listeners, for support to keep the lights on and the rent paid at the studio and to keep not just producing audio fiction, but producing the best audio fiction we possibly can. It's sort of a revolution. It's never been the way things have been done in the past. And I'm coming on just to directly appeal to you guys, if you'll consider on this day, if you enjoyed the show you just heard, to go to iceboxradio.org and look at the different ways to support us, starting with as little as like $1 a month. That really makes an unbelievably huge difference, not just for the money, but also when I can show the actors, look, there are people all over the world supporting us on Patreon and supporting us by members. It encourages everybody. It makes us feel like we're part of something, and it makes us feel like we're reaching out to you, the listener. Now, I totally get it. There's a ton of free stuff out there. You don't need to pay for anything online practically. And I think I'd like it to stay that way because I'd like to think that we can appeal directly to our listeners. And if everyone just gave a few pennies, we'd be on easy street here producing great new audio plays as well as the Radio Icebox series as well as everything. So it's iceboxradio.org. You can go there and click on support, check out our Patreon page through a link there. Also check out our memberships. You'd like to be a voting member of the Icebox Radio Theater, get to decide who's on the board and also decide what sorts of shows we do. Help decide, I should say. There's a lot of you. That's the place to go. That's it. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and thanks for listening to the episode. This is Jeff. Talk to you later.